Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Astonishing Ashley, and I'm back with another video.
Ashley, hey, woo, Ashley, hey. I get hard when she walk past me. Look at that, cause she thick, all over. Yeah, run around the trap right now with 100 bands on me. I be looking like a brick. Yeah.
So welcome back to my channel, guys. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be just a sit down video talking about my business and how I accomplished all of it. So I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for God, and without God, none of this would be possible. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to God for that. I also would like to thank my close family, my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters, and my kids, because my kids were one of my biggest motivations to even do this. So I'm gonna start off by just saying what pushed me into this direction. So throughout my entire life, I've always been doing hair. So I've been doing hair since like middle school. I've been doing my friends' hair, I've been doing my classmates' hair. I used to be in middle school literally like doing people's hair, in high school doing people's hair, and my teachers would get mad at me like, Miss Ashley, this is not a beauty salon, this is class, you need to be doing work. And I used to get in trouble all the time for doing hair in class. I started people's dreads in class, people that have dreads now, like long dreads that I started in class. I used to be doing people's braids in class. Like it's always been a part of me to do hair. Like I don't know what it is. It's just always been a part of me. My mom actually taught me how to do hair, and ever since that, it was wraps, baby, like wraps after that. So I'm just gonna tell you guys basically like how I started my business. So after high school and everything, I started doing hair like at people's house, or they'll come to my house and then I'll do their hair, no matter where I was living at the time, because I moved around a few times. So after that, I just started getting regular jobs. Like I started doing regular jobs, 9 to 5s. I used to do like call center jobs. I used to work at I used to do all kind of jobs, but mostly like call center jobs, because it was like easy, quick money, like good money. So it came a point in time where I was working in a salon in New York, and shout out to Kids and Adults Beauty Salon in New York, Queens, New York. I was there for like 4 years, almost 5 years. At one point I left for like 6 months and came back, but nevertheless I was there for like 4 or 5 years doing hair, and that was like my stomping ground. Like that was the base of beauty salon for me. Like it was like it's a big salon. It had probably like, I think she had like about 12 seats in there, probably like 10 to 12 seats in there. And that's where I learned like everything that had to do with a beauty salon, like the back end work, you know. Like I sat and I watched the owner, how she ran her business, things that I said, you know, I liked that she did, things that I didn't like that she did, things that I felt like, okay, maybe one day I have my own salon and I'll do things a little bit different. But nevertheless, whether it was good or bad, I learned from her. And that's when I worked at my first salon. Like was that the only salon? No, that was the second salon that I worked at, but that was like the main salon. The other salon I worked at for like 1 day, and I never went back because of mistreatment. So I started working there, worked there for 5 years, and then I left and I came back here to Florida because I was pregnant. I conceived my son. And then I just worked in a 9 to 5. I started working at a call center for a little bit, and then I got a job at the hospital. Now this is where my whole entire life changed. I started working at a hospital in Florida, and I was getting mistreated there. I didn't like how they treated me. I wasn't the perfect employee, I know that. I'm not good with working with people, working for people. I'm not good with working for people, but I still did my job nevertheless. I had a manager that was just on my ass. Like she just wanted me the fuck out. Like she just wanted me out of the hospital. She didn't want me to be working there, even though she hired me. But once she hired me, I guess she just felt like I was, I don't know, doing too much or whatever the case may be. So she wanted me out, so she was trying all different types of ways to get me out. And I was trying to be like, at one point I was trying to like walking on eggshells. I was trying to be like on my P's and Q's, making sure that I, you know, did what I had to do so that I couldn't get written up or whatever the case may be. So she tried to write me up for every little thing. If I was late once, she wrote me up. If I was on my phone, she tried to write me up. She just tried to write me up for every little thing. So then COVID comes around now, and there was one point where we were able to stay home and not go to work, and we wouldn't get penalized. So I took the opportunity. I stayed home with my kids. This is when COVID first broke out. I stayed home with my kids, and then at one point we had to go back to work. So I went back to work. I was very like precautious. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that or not, but we went back to work or whatever. And one day she asked me to go to the, okay, I worked for the hospital, but I was working like at an outpatient care center. So I was working like off of the hospital compound. Like I was off of the, I wasn't working on like at the actual hospital. It was probably like 2-3 miles away from the hospital, but it was still for the hospital. So there was one point when COVID broke out and everything, we came back to work, and she wanted me to go cover at the hospital. But where our department was at the hospital, a lot of the employees were getting COVID like crazy. Like management was getting COVID, employees were getting COVID, like everyone was getting COVID. So a lot of my coworkers were getting COVID, and I didn't want to go over there and get COVID. So I told her no. I said, no, I don't feel like I need to go over there. My job when I got hired, it was for this location. It was for the hospital, but it was at this location, and I don't feel like I should be going over there to risk me getting sick. Because, you know, everybody was so scared, like terrified of COVID when it first came out. I mean, we're still afraid now, but it was just like, we were terrified when it first came out. At least I know I was. So I told her no, and she basically forced me to go over there. Like, you have to go, there's no choice, like you gotta go. So I went and I covered the shift that she asked me to cover. I think it was for like a few days, but then she tried to make it like a permanent thing, like until things got better you have to go over there at least 2 to 3 times a week type thing. And I'm like, I sucked it up. And I was like, whatever. So she made me do like 2-3 days over there before she decided to fire me. She fired me because I was being defiant, disobedient. I don't even remember the exact term that she used, but it was along those lines. Like, I was being disobedient. What's the word? I can't remember the word she used. I can't remember the word that she used that she wrote me up for, but it's basically like, you know, not listening to her. So the fucked up part about it, and I'm sorry to curse, but the messed up part about it was that I still went and she still fired me. Like, if that was the case, I would have never went over there. I would have never went if I knew that you were trying, like, I knew she was trying to fire me, but if I knew that you were going to fire me for that, I would have never went over there, because then I would have got fired for actually not going. But she fired me because I told her no initially. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I told her no. I was on the phone, I'm like, I can't, like, I can't do that. I just can't. But whatever, I went. She still ended up firing me. When I say I was so mad, I was happy, because at that point in time I would work at the hospital from 9 to 5, get off of work, go pick my kids up, go home, and still have to do hair in the evenings, stay up late doing hair, and then, you know, put my kids to bed, and then I have to wake up early in the morning again, take the kids to daycare, go to work, come home, do hair. And I was doing that every single day, y'all. Like, at least 4 times a week I was doing hair in the evenings after coming home from work. So it was very overwhelming. I was really busting my ass to keep this job, and I think that's why God blessed me so much, because he's seen how hard I worked to just maintain, you know. So time went by. She fired me, and I remember leaving that day. It was a beautiful day, you guys. When I left, I jumped in my car, and it was a beautiful day, and I'm like, damn, it's been a while since I was like outside around like in the daytime, because usually when I leave it'll start, you know, getting dark, because it's like 5 something. I'm getting home at like 7 by the time I get the kids and stuff. So it felt good to be outside. And I remember driving home, and I had the windows down, and I had called my mom, and I said, you know, she finally fire me today. Like, she's been working on this for months now, and she finally got to fire me today. And I said to her, but I don't even feel bad. Like, I felt good inside of me, because I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation like this, but just going to work, clocking into someone's clock, knowing that they have a crew of fucking people watching you, your every step, your every move, that shit will drive you insane. Like, you cannot even say, okay, somebody calls you, you don't even want to check your phone because you don't know who the fuck is watching you, to go tell your boss, oh, she's on her phone. Like, it's like walking on eggshells, literally. So it was like a release. Like, finally, like, I know I'm not making the money, I'm not gonna be making the money that I was making before, but a part of me was just so relieved that I don't have to go through that shit no more. And I remember driving home and I'm feeling this way, and I'm like, I vouched for myself today, I will never work for somebody again. I will never work for somebody again. And that's when I started, that was around the time that I was gonna get my BBL. So those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I did a BBL. If you don't know about it, you're interested, I have videos on my channel about my whole BBL experience. But I had already planned my BBL. I already I didn't fully pay for it, but I already put my deposit down for my BBL, and my BBL was scheduled for like the next 2 weeks after I had got fired, like 2 weeks after that, because my birthday was around that time and everything. Y'all, I was stressed out because I'm like, damn, I'm not working no more. Now I'm about to pay all this money for this BBL, and I'm not working anymore. It's like, should I still do my BBL? But I had already planned everything. I was already in the motions. I did all the doctor's appointments and everything. It's literally just time winding down for me to get my BBL, y'all. And I'm just like, what the f am I gonna do right now? Like, what am I gonna do? So I decided to still do my BBL. I still did my BBL, and within that time frame of not working and then transitioning into doing hair full time now. So remember, it was COVID, so a lot of people weren't working their regular 9 to 5 jobs anymore. So they were available more. There were more available people throughout the daytime. So in my head, I'm like, damn, no one's really gonna come do their hair. But I didn't even realize that a lot of people weren't working anymore, so they were accessible during the day. So I started making money like during the day, and it was crazy because I'm thinking the opposite when this is like happening. It just all happened so fast, y'all. It just all happened so fast. And I just remember getting clients, like, you know, my clients start picking up, and I'm like, damn, this is good or whatever. So I did my BBL. I was down for a few weeks. I couldn't do hair. I couldn't do anything. So I was basically just living off of my savings. And I still had to send the kids to daycare because I couldn't physically take care of them in my condition because I had just gotten surgery. So it was a lot, y'all. I went through a lot to get to where I am now. And long story short, after that, you know, I decided that I was gonna just work for myself. And then while I was down on my downtime, you know, all I could really do is be on my phone all day because I'm laying on my stomach. So I would just watch YouTube videos of stylists, and then I just started getting motivated. Like, one of my neighbors, she's a stylist as well, we basically like grew up together. She just had opened her beauty suite, and I was like, you know, I should probably look into that, because I'm doing hair from home, you know, with COVID and everything going on. I was very skeptical of who I brought to my home. And then we have to be wearing masks, and then, you know, this is where I live, so I'm kind of endangering, you know, the people that I live with. Like, it was just a lot. So then at that point, I decided, you know what, let me start looking for a beauty suite. So I went to the same building that my neighbor worked at, and they had an available suite, but it was kind of like on edge because someone else wanted it and then I wanted it, and it was very small. But I was willing to start there, you know. I was willing to start. I just wanted to start. So the guy of the owner of the building basically told me that if the person that's interested in it doesn't decide to take it, then it's all yours. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna leave it in God's hands. Whatever happens happens, but I really want it, and I got my money right now. Like, if they don't pull up, let me know, because I got my bread. So the girl took it. The girl ended up taking it, and I was like, damn, like, why? Like, why me? You know, you're always, when you're in the situation like that where you really want something and doesn't work out for you, God has a bigger plan for you. So sometimes when you feel like, why me, you just have to look up and say thank you, because it's a blessing. It's a blessing as to why this couldn't happen, you know what I mean? So I hit up a realtor that I was recommended to by a friend, and the realtor was like, oh, there's this building over there by your house, like 5 minutes from your house. They just shut something else down and opened up a whole bunch of suites in it. And I was like, oh really? And she was like, yeah, but I don't have any time to take you today. It was like a Friday, and she was like, I can probably go with you next week Wednesday. Y'all, I was like, it was eating me alive, because I just wanted to find something right now. I was like, I'm ready now, I need something now. So she gave me the address, and she was like, you can go there and check it out, look at it, and if you like anything, you let me know. Y'all, I came to this building the next morning. I woke up, I went straight to this building, and I remember there was the official manager of the building was not here. The owner wasn't here, but he had one of his business partners here. So I called the number, and he's like, oh, I'm not there, but I have someone that works with me. He's there. He can take you into some of the rooms. You can look at it, whatever. You guys, I came, and I walked into about 8, 9, 10 rooms. He showed me a lot of rooms, because this is when the building first opened up. So he showed me a lot of rooms, and I was just like, I walked into this one room and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. It wasn't even big. It was just how the layout was and how it was put together, and it had like a big open window. You can see the parking lot, you can see the neighborhoods. I just loved it. I fell in love with it. And after that it was just smooth sailing. I literally kind of stepped on my realtor's toes, because I was so infatuated with this room. I was like, I want it now. I'll go get your money right now and come back. How do you need your payment? And we literally did everything that day. Within that day and the next morning, we finished out all the paperwork, the payment, everything like that. And then my realtor calls me the next day after I did everything. She's like, hey, did you see the room? Did you see the rooms over there? How was it? And I was like, I'm so sorry, I forgot all about you, because I was just so excited that I found something. I was like, I'll send you some money right now. And she was just like, no, I can't do that. But she's like, oh, I'm gonna link her down below. She's a really good realtor. She's very by the books. And yeah, so she found it for me. I literally forgot to tell her, so that she can get her little, you know, her little cut out of it. I forgot all about her, y'all. Once I saw that room, my mind just started going like, okay, I gotta get a chair, I gotta get this, I gotta get that. And it was just history ever since. So I moved into that small room first. That was room 302E. And then eventually, like 2 months after, I outgrew the room. I outgrew the room in 2 months, y'all. 2 months, because I started getting so much stuff, and my mind just went to like a business mindset. So I was like, okay, I could start selling this, I could start selling that for my business or whatever. And I didn't have enough space anymore. And then I wanted to add a boutique, and I wanted to do all little type of things that, you know, I'm starting to make good money now. So I'm trying to invest more into my business so that I can make more. So I spoke to the building manager, and then at that time she showed me a few other rooms that were available. So then I ended up getting the room that I'm in right now, which is the one that I showed you guys that has my all of my stuff in it. Someone's calling me. But yeah, so then I got this room, and then literally like 6 months after I got this room, was it 6 months? Probably like 6 months after I got this room, I started wanting to expand and hire people. So I was making even more money at that time. So I'm like, okay, I can, you know, try to get a bigger room. So what happened was, the lady that was behind my room, she was moving out. It was a pharmacy. And I spoke to her, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving, and I'm going upstairs to get a bigger space because my business is growing, and I was just letting you know. So she let me know. And then when I went into her room, because I've never been into her room, but when I went into her room, it was literally like almost attached to my room. Like it had a hallway, and like the whole back part of my room plus more was, you guys seen it, it was like bigger than my room. And I'm like, ooh, I can hire, like, you know, a nail tech. I could hire someone that does makeup. And then my mind just started going, and I'm like, okay, the room that I'm in now, I could turn that into a boutique. So I just started thinking of all type of business ideas and stuff like that, and it worked out to be very, very good. So where I am now, I actually have a I'm actually gonna add a makeup artist right now, but I have a nail tech and I have someone that does eyebrows and eyelashes. So I employ 2 young ladies. They're entrepreneurs as well, but I provided them with the space so that they can grow their business as well. So that's where I am right now, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm very, very happy. Am I satisfied? No. I would love to eventually get a storefront, and I am going to get a storefront in the future. Let's manifest that. But for right now, this is doing really, really good, and I'm very proud of myself. I'm humble, I'm happy, and I'm really excited to see where my business is gonna go from here. There's a lot of things that I'm gonna be changing around, because everyone that knows me, y'all know I'm always changing shit in here. Like, I'm always changing. My clients come back and they're like, every time I come back, you're changing something. Like, nothing stays the same. But I'm so happy with what I do have. And yeah, so that's how this whole thing came about, and that's my story, my backstory on how I became an entrepreneur and how I started working for myself. So this is going to be my first year of taxes. I don't know about that yet. I'll probably try to share as much as I can without telling too much of my personal business, but I'll try to share as much as I can with that aspect, like actually making it a LLC and a business and all of that, and you know, registering it and all of that. I'll get into all of that in another video when I'm a little bit more experienced on the taxes part, so that I can just make everything all together. But this is my first full official year. October made it an entire year since I have had this space. So that's all for this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. And definitely comment below if you have any questions, or if you just want to say congratulations, because y'all know your girl has been struggling with this. So if you have any questions, link it down below. Go ahead and leave it down below. And I love you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm out. Peace.
All over. Yeah, run around the trap right now with 100 bands on me. I be looking like a brick. Yeah.